Hello, welcome to a very special stream here on Better Than Heroes of a game that I made up called Duster. I'm Andrew Overdahl. This is a game that I'll be releasing pretty soon. I'm very excited to share with everyone. This game, it's like a post-apocalyptic Gaspunk world, sort of like if Mad Max smashed into Deadwood, or if you don't like that reference, the Blood of Heroes smashed into Tombstone, whatever you want. It's set in the far-flung future where the world has been destroyed and sort of rebuilt into this Western aesthetic and technology level, and it's kind of a terrible place to live. It's water's hard to come by, clean water especially hard to come by, food's hard to come by, and you always have to worry about it being radioactive and poisoning you. Bullets are in meager supply. It's a grindy world, and in that world we find these players. This adventure is actually going to start about a week ago in a city known as Black Iron City. It's built atop a plateau. It's ringed with tall metal fences with guard towers. There's a very large crane that sort of hangs over the side of this plateau that brings up vehicles and cargo and passengers. And there's also steps carved into the side. And it just so happened about a week ago that Slick Pete, played by our guest Eliza Skinner, a very funny comedian, improviser, writer. Welcome, Eliza. How are you doing? Oh, you're muted. Hang on. You're doing silently. You're doing totally.
I'm doing great.
Oh, so loud.
Oh no. Sorry. That's my fun streaming prank. I make people turn their volume way up, and then I turn
gotcha.
playing with them.
Zoom pranks. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Oh, okay. I'm great.
Good. I mean, I am sweating my nuts off because it's very hot here in Los Angeles, and I'm mad at my printer because I am a modern woman and we stay mad at our printers, but besides that, I'm excited to play this game.
I think everyone's kind of consistently mad at it. I'd be suspicious if someone loved their printer.
Wow. I had no idea. We're building bridges here tonight.
Yeah, I hate my
I thought that was just a woman's experience.
I'm also a modern woman. What can you tell us a little bit about Slick Pete? You've played Slick Pete before in another game of Duster, and he survived, so he gets to pop into another adventure.
I have.
Do you want to tell us? I mean, I can also tell people a little.
Yeah, he's a merchant trader kind of guy.
He's a hawk. His specialty is a hawk, which is a sort of both a trader of goods and also information.
You got what you need. You need something, you go to Slick Pete. Also, I don't know if you've mentioned, everybody has mutations because of the radiation in this new future. And
not everyone doesn't, but you
okay.
can.
Well, a lot of people do.
I think a lot of us here do.
I'm sorry. I don't want to get people's hopes up. Everyone.
Slick Pete's mutations have just made him even more unbearably handsome. He is a wildly attractive man, like cripplingly attractive. He's a real rogue. He's a fun guy. And I mean, I don't want to say he's a Val Kilmer type, but he's a Val Kilmer type.
No, what era are we talking?
Oh, we're talking Real Genius.
Oh, we're going all the way back to Real Genius.
Yeah. I'm not talking
Maximum
rotting.
Kilmer.
Too powerful.
Yeah. I'm not talking like a rotting Huckleberry version. I'm talking
rotting Huckleberry.
Oh,
whoa.
come on! He was rotting. He was like, "I'll be a Huckleberry."
Yeah, he was a little sweaty. All right.
Yeah. He's dying off. That's the whole thing. That he can still be your Huckleberry even through the dying.
Slick with tuberculosis moisture.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like slick weeping wounds.
Mm-hmm. You're a different kind of Slick Pete, not Slick with TB.
Figuratively slick.
Cool. Yeah, so in a world full of people with huge gaps in their teeth and leathery catcher's mitt skin and offset eyes and bite marks in their ears, Slick Pete stands out with amazing bone structure, amazing nose profile.
Jaw, all like a six-pack to die for.
Wow,
and
great.
almost like the palest of blue eyes and too many eyelashes. He's got freakish triple eyelashes.
Now it's not handsome anymore and kind of unsettling.
Wait, no, that's all handsome. Those are all universally attractive traits. You know, Elizabeth Taylor had triple eyelashes.
Too many eyelashes.
Elizabeth Taylor had triple eyelashes.
3 rows like a shark.
Yeah, so a lot of those people, a lot of those guys that you're like, is he wearing eyeliner? Just too many eyelashes.
Thick.
Wow.
So it's that.
There's so much that I don't know about attractive people.
Yes, exactly.
I do feel like
too many eyelashes.
I do feel like that's the mutation, though. If you look too close at Slick Pete, it's like, does he have too many teeth? That's like too many packs.
No wonder they're gleaming because the guy's got 2 rows of choppers. Yeah.
That's a 9-pack. There's an extra thing in there.
Great. So that's Slick Pete. Slick Pete, about a week ago, you were in the saloon here in Black Iron City, which is known as the Forge, maybe having a drink, maybe doing some business, whatever it might be. What's that?
Pooping?
You could be pooping, sure.
You said I was doing some business.
I meant because you are a merchant by trade, there's also that kind of business. But yeah, sure. You could also be pooping out in the privy. You could try to derail me all night. You can try. When you come out of the privy, an old acquaintance of yours is there. It was a man named Wazat, on account of he only has one ear. Wazat. We're just
That's how Slick Pete greets him
manually. Harlan. It's just Slick Pete greets everyone. Great.
No, just him.
Okay. And Wazat has an enticing job offer for you. Wazat knows of a vault full of steel bars that recently took a shipment of these steel bars, but it is light on guards. It turns out the guards are regarding a water seep down by another town, a town by the name of Nuevas, and this vault is perilously understaffed. And in this world, steel is akin to gold. Steel is actually used in the game. It's used to craft guns and engine parts and unique, cool things in the game. It is a, if we can peek behind the curtain, a high tier commodity in this game, steel. So the idea of a steel vault full of steel bars is an enticing prospect. And Wazat wants you in on this job because you know how to get people, you know how to get things. You are a well-connected person. So you're the first person that Wazat came to with this. So with that knowledge, you know that with any score, hiring a knife, hiring a gun, you're going to be able to check those boxes. Everyone you see has a knife or a gun on their hip, but you know that when the shit hits the fan, when the bullets are flying, you need somebody who can stitch people back up. You know, there's a crucial element of any crew, and that's a stitch. And you happen to know a great stitch, a person by the name of Ephraim Estes, played by our special guest, Ross Bryant. Welcome, Ross. Thank you so much for doing the show. How are you doing, Ross?
I'm doing fine. I'm also, not to put too fine a point on it, sweating my dang nards off here in LA. But my printer is fine. So,
Nice.
Ugh, yeah, male privilege.
man, yeah.
Ross, I need your help with my printer. Thank you. Ross is a very talented improviser, actor, and he's a Stream of Blood all-star. If you ever watch anything on Stream of Blood, you should be familiar with Ross's work. And Ross is playing a Stitch by the name of Ephraim Estes. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, or Estes. Yeah, Estes.
Ephraim Estes. So if you two want, why don't you, Slick Pete, why don't you kind of give me a scene of approaching Ephraim with this job that you know of?
Is Wazat there?
Yeah, we'll say that Wazat is loitering nearby.
And I want to say, yeah, I think Ephraim maybe travels from place to place and town to town as a sort of like a perambulating Stitch or Sawbones, and is in Black Iron City. And but you probably know where to find me. I've kind of set up a little stall, and if you pop in there, you're maybe seeing me like dipping into someone's mouth with a pair of pliers, like taking out an abscess tooth with like glasses with like, just like lots of like jeweler's lenses and stuff swinging into place. Like, all right, it ain't going to get any less painful.
So I approach your canvas tent slash hospital with a knock knock there, friend.
Someone's knocking on my flap. Hold tight, will you? And they're like, and you see a face pops out of the flap and just kind of swivels these little lenses out of the way, and you're looking at a super recessed hairline, kind of bald, but with the hair in a ring around that kind of comes around like in these huge mutton chops.
Right, and Slick Pete has like his normal dazzlingly beautiful face.
Yeah, I'm just like, Adonis himself. And there's a
friend, stop it! You flatter me. You do it okay? You needing for anything back here? I'm so pleased that we're in the same town once again, Mr. Ephraim.
Times is always needful, Pete. What you got for me?
Oh, cutting right to it, my.
You got any? And I'm looking around, looking like you see his little eyes kind of inspecting you, like anything you need took care of.
Oh no, I'm in perfect health, thank you. Almost too good. I think I got an extra tooth coming in just the right place.
That happens to be this feller's problem. Oh, too many extra. Oh, this feller's a genius with wisdom teeth, ain't you?
So I found out a friend of mine has alerted me to a situation in which there happened to be quite a few steel bars without enough babysitters around them. Someone might need to go take them on a little field trip, if you know what I mean.
And am I to understand that this might cause some trouble where a fellow of my particular talents may come into play?
Well, anything that causes trouble, a fellow of your particular talents might come into play. If people are going to get shot up, stabbed up, we need somebody to sew us up. Not that that would happen to me. You know how I do. I lay back in the cut and wait for the proceeds.
Well, all right then. But mind that attitude of yours, Mr. Pete. As the poet says, pride goeth before fall. And then you hear the flaps shut, and you just hear, and then like a little like tink in a bucket. You're like, I'll be ready when you are. Just say the word.
I love it.
A colorful way of saying age before beauty, I suppose.
So we can flash forward a few days. Ephraim has stitched up a lot of grievous wounds, but perhaps no one has sent more grievous wounds to Ephraim than one of the most dangerous but unknown men on the wasted plains, a man by the name of Jacob Skins. And Ephraim is privy to the knowledge of Jacob Skins' existence, perhaps as a result of treating so many of his victims.
I, as a player, object to this last name.
Go ahead.
Jacob Skins.
Yeah, I feel like it's a commentary.
You're going to have to take it up with Jordan. So for this scene, we'll say Slick Pete is off wheeling and dealing, and Ephraim is now approaching our next guest. He's a comedian. He's the illustrator on our Better Than Heroes channel. He churns out amazing work. He's one of the hosts of Werewolf Radar. He's a player in Stake Night, which is another D&D game. He's a busy guy.
I'm all over the place.
He's a great guy. Welcome, Jordan Dahl. How you doing?
I am
Jordan?
the infamous namer of Jacob Skins. I'm good. I'm here. I have gone paperless. No printer.
Wow. How's the future look? What is it? 2042?
It is not without its drawbacks. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm.
I will say that now because I draw on my tablet so much, whenever I like write something in the real world and I make a mistake and need to erase it, I find myself tapping the screen.
Yeah, I've done that. I've done
which
that
is
too.
a brain issue for sure.
Jacob Skins, your fellow player has a
That's
I haven't
right.
seen this happen ever. Jacob Skins already exists in this world. Again, this is another character that already played an adventure. We played it on Stream of Blood.
This is
He
true.
survived amazingly enough.
He
and he
escaped
gets to play in another game.
Craven act of cowardice, bailed out.
So
But
yeah,
he
in this
saved
scene,
his skin, lives to see
whatever
another
Jacob
day.
is doing, Ephraim, you know that Jacob Skins would be an invaluable asset to this steel bar's job. So if you want to see about roping him in, you two can have at it.
Okay. Sweet. So wherever you're at, Mr. Skins.
Yeah, where's Jacob Skins right now? What's he doing?
You would find Jacob Skins anywhere. There's a terrible shadow, terrible pall falling over a corner, a chill as cold as the grave. And you walk into the bar, and there he is. He walks out. He says, Ephraim.
Well, sure. I suppose if you can judge a feller by the company he keeps, then you can color me judgmental. But this ain't the sort of place you'd find me in. If you want to perhaps go to a place with a more inviting bill of fare, perhaps you'd like to fill your pockets somewhat. I got a line on a score, is what I'm saying.
I understand. I understand the words you speak. I knew you were coming. I could feel it in my blade hand. Feel a strange thirst.
If you got some sort of phantom pain or thirst, I could take care of that. If you got nerve damage, you see, like reaching in a pocket of his coat where probably you could hear scalpels clattering around.
Take it easy. That's fine. I know you got an itch for carving flesh yourself. But yeah, let's say I could be interested.
Yeah, I consider myself an artist, Mr. Skins, and skins themselves are my medium. But listen, with you yourself, I've dug many a mini ball that you've put in a backside out, and seems to me we could use somebody with your set of skills on this particular mission.
Sure, and you see this kind of long, tall, very, very gaunt fellow with kind of pale skin, and he's got kind of a long black coat on. He's got one arm. He's missing his right arm, and he's got this kind of scarf over his face, and he pulls it down, and you see that one half of his face is kind of all snake skin, all crazy like, and he shoots back a shot of whiskey, and he says, well, let's go within.
All right. Hey, you never know. We get enough steel out of this score, I might be able to craft you a suitable prosthesis.
Just only slow me down, Ephraim.
All right. Hippocrates! And a little coyote lopes out of the shadows to my heel. Like,
he kind of reaches for his blade. Oh,
oh, you know.
Yeah, Ephraim has a pet yote, which is normally a dreaded predator out on the wasted plains, and it takes a rare touch to tame one. But he has one that answers to him ceaselessly. That is kind of maybe almost always in his shadow.
Terrifying.
Slinking along. Yeah, very, very unsettling to many people who have either bear bite scars from yotes themselves or have watched companions be eaten alive by them.
Who knows? I mean, maybe this is where that other arm is.
Yeah, that could be.
In a yote somewhere.
In a yote's belly. So yeah, we can cut ahead again a couple days, and as Jacob is preparing for this job, maybe in thought, Jacob is probably a pretty solitary sort, as I know him, and doesn't often crew up in an outfit with others, but he knows a young man who's just an unbridled source of chaos. He has seen this young man do things that cannot be explained, terrifying things, powerful things, and he knows that having this sort of electric presence in this crew might be exactly what he needs. Because last time we saw Jacob Skins, he walked into a fight kind of undergunned and was pretty lucky to get out of it. So any kind of additional help, I think Jacob Skins would like, which is why he calls upon our final guest of the evening, the hilarious comedian. He's also in our Better Than Heroes game. Please welcome Aaron Urist. Aaron, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you? You've already answered that question so many times.
You haven't had a printer the entire time I've known you. You make your character sheets on notepaper, right?
Yeah, I have my own style of character sheet, the old Google Doc, but I just moved into a place where my roommate has a printer, so
nice.
The best printer is your roommate's printer.
Yeah. You don't have to fix it. Yeah. So tell us a little about your character, Aaron, and what he may be doing as Jacob Skins finds him.
My name is Randy Critter, and I'm just out here. I love my grandma, and I love fire, and I love my cat, and that's really, I'm just kind of just a little hayseed.
What is he what is he doing? Is he just out?
I think you look for him in like an area where you've seen him before, in just a sort of barren corner of the town, and there's just sort of
picking
debris
trash
around, and there's nothing. And when you stand there and look for a second, you see some eyes sort of poke out from under like a blanket off in the corner. It's like, hello.
And it turns out that it was nobody, but then right behind you, a cold wind, and it's Jacob Skins.
God, Jacob.
Hey, Randy.
Hey, Mr. Skins.
It's okay. I think I might have a job for you, friend. A job. I need somebody knows their way around a firefight.
I know a little bit about fire. I don't know how much I know about fighting, but
well, listen, I got caught one time with my back against an inferno, and I don't expect to let it happen again. Listen, I tell you what, you come with us. Maybe make a little money, take care of that grandma of yours, buy that cat of yours, a few more treats.
Treats
for that kitty cat.
All right.
Where's the old girl at? Where's she at?
Oh, Jacob sort of turns away, sort of hiding the left side of his body, which is covered by this kind of like denim cloak almost.
Randy turns.
Randy turns. Sorry. And he's like, she's around. She's sleeping right now.
You weird little guy, Randy.
Thank you, Mr. Skins. Thank you.
That's coming from a one-eyed snake man. One-armed snake man.
Yeah.
Anyways, you in?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. What's that? And he points, and then he disappears as you look away.
What? Oh.
Doing that.
Bit of a Batman.
He just kind of
he's going for it.
Randy just kind of sinks, becomes sad.
Oh no.
Randy, give me a focus roll.
I'm actually pretty good at that.
Oh no.
6.
On the dice?
You see Jacob Skins kind of like wedged behind there's like a large like storage container, and you can just kind of see the side of Jacob Skins pressed.
Oh, that was pretty good. Mr. Skins. I could close my eyes if you want.
I think that would be best.
All right.
Ow, son of a bitch.
Well, we got ourselves a real crack squad here.
Welcome to these people you invited.
Okay, night.
Listen, I told Skins clearly I need just a steady hand.
The kid's dangerous. Trust me.
This brings us to the present day, and you all can be having this conversation out at the base of the plateau of Black Iron City as the wind is blowing. Before we get started, I forgot a very important shout out on this stream. I want to shout out our behind the scenes presence running this, Harlan Kelly. They are we're borrowing one of my favorite aspects of the Stream of Blood with the secret game master. Harlan is our Clinton Trucks tonight. He'll be whispering in my ear. He's in the chat. If you got questions about the game, hit him up in chat. Harlan can relay them to me, and I can explain all this game stuff as we play. This game is new to probably a lot of you, just as it is to most of these players. So yeah, hit us with the questions. And yeah, thank you very much, Harlan, for running the cogs behind the curtain. And yeah, so we
I know that the guards ran off to Nuevos, but where are those steel bars and where are we? Just a little reminder.
Great. Yeah. So Wazat is with you. You're down on these wind-blown at the base of the steps that lead up to Black Iron City. If I could show you without showing you a map, I have a world map, but I didn't think to send it to Harlan. Black Iron City is sort of centrally located in the south of an area that's referred to as the Wasted Plains, which stretches from what was formerly the Rocky Mountains to the Mississippi River Valley, and from the north up to Canada and down to Mexico. So maybe right about in the lower third of that is Black Iron City, kind of in the middle. It's one of the largest cities any of you have ever encountered.
Okay.
The vault in question, Nuevas is down to the west. It's down at the bottom where those mountains kind of peter out. Those mountains are now referred to as the End because no one who has ever gone into them has ever come back. So they are just kind of referred bluntly as the End, and it's kind of just considered the end of your world. But at the bottom where those mountains peter out, which is in our present day of New Mexico, is a smaller town called Nuevas, which is kind of growing every day. That's sort of in the southwest. That's where this contingent of guards are, who will be taking the train to the vault in question, which is down on the border of the Yellow Swamps, which is a very dangerous swampy area, which is kind of located in the southeast, where we know, kind of in that Gulf.
About how far from Black Iron City are those Yellow Swamps?
The Yellow
I assume
Swamps.
we would know that.
Yes, you would know. Actually, why don't you give me a history roll? Let's get some rolls underway just to show people how they work. So to roll, you just roll a d6, or not history, memory. Sorry, I've been playing too many games.
Just one?
You just roll. Well, are you keen in it? Do you have a
in memory? No. I live in the moment, baby.
Great.
I got a 6.
You got a 6. That's a total success. It is about 500 miles between Black Iron City and where this vault is. The vault is also very close to a city by the name of Parsons, which is the biggest city that any of you would be aware of. It is the largest city, and it is also the home of the Exeter refinery, which is the only place you know of that makes push, which is what you call gasoline. And so it is a huge power center in your world. So that's about, those guards are coming by train. They're headed east to guard the vault, which is currently guarded by a skeleton crew, and the vault's down by
skeleton crew, you say?
Oh God,
that's just a term. It's not a mutation. It's just a term.
Oh God. Okay.
No, I was just funning with you.
What Wazat's plan, although he is open to any other ideas, is if you could delay that train by any means, perhaps by damaging the tracks, you would give yourself a very comfortable window to pull this off. Otherwise, it would sort of be a race. You would just sort of be hoping to beat them to this vault. But he has an ace up his sleeve in the fact that his brother has worked at this vault and can draw you a map of it, including the entrances.
Who made him so mad?
What?
I said, who made him so mad? Sounds
His
like
brother?
somebody at work made this brother awfully angry.
Really?
Oh yeah. Well, this is the one wrinkle in the plan. His brother Grady is currently working on a chain in the Exeter refinery.
Oh.
But other than that wrinkle, was that is very confident in his plan.
Well, fellas, do we have anybody who's particularly adept at destroying railroad tracks in some sort of way?
I might be able to do something like that.
What was your name?
I'm Randy, sir. Randy Critter. Hi.
Randy, sir. Oh, okay. Well, you certainly are a bit of a critter.
Thank you.
What by what means can you destroy a railroad track?
Oh, I would, if it's all right with you, I'd prefer not to say.
As someone on a
I
team
just-
with you,
I just feel more comfortable if I.
Are there people around?
There's no one around.
Oh.
Just was at. You're down at the base of this plateau.
trust
and
me, you
just
can say
kinda wind and
anything
dust
you'd need to
blowing.
say to
I
any of
thought
us. To my
I thought
good
there-
friend was at.
I thought
Jake-
there was people around.
Jacob will kind of lean into Randy and be like, "It's okay, show her just a little bit."
Yeah, it's a distrustful work environment that can lead particular individuals to do things like draw maps of said
Okay.
work environment to
That's true.
lead ne'er-do-wells into their inner fastness.
Yeah, listen to Dr. Oz here. Tell us.
Well, if
What you can
there's
do.
there's something like say a railroad track or grandpappy's shed or
Sure.
a goat or something, and I see it, and if I hate it real bad, if I just really hate it, sometimes it'll not be anymore.
I see. We've
Does that make
spoken of
sense?
that in where I come from as family strength. You've got a bit of that family strength.
I don't know exactly what that means, but
It's the kind of strength that a family keeps secret within the family.
oh right, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. My family's awful weak, though, sir. Please don't.
How common is the sort of thing that Randy's describing right now?
What he's describing are people known as teaks. They're people who are born with a mutation not on the outside, but on the inside that lets them do things like snoop around in people's minds or move fire around or more horrible things like tear people apart from the inside
Yeah,
out.
pull that poor kid
And,
inside out
Uh,
in the last one.
it's they're very secretive because they are shunned and generally hated because of those abilities. People don't want someone around who can just look into their mind and snoop around. They don't want someone who can lift them off the ground and throw them. So even in like pretty quote unquote friendly areas, a teak will be treated poorly and probably run out of town. And that escalates up to there's a group of fervent a religious sect known as the Reverent. They live in the southernmost region of these wasted plains, and they consider teaks like an abomination to God, and will come up and hunt them and bring them down to be crucified upside down on these
Oh no.
large iron crosses that dot their landscape down there. But they come up in convoys when they hear of a teak, and they just basically disappear them. So
Listen, Mr. Critter, you shall find none of the religious, pious prejudices of the Southlands here among our number. And if these are the sort of skills you possess, then if you will leverage them to our mutual benefit, then you have a friend in me. And if I could take a look inside your brain. I would love to see what makes,
Oh.
what allows you to reach out into the
Taking a
physical
look
world,
inside the
because
boy's
it is the
brain.
mystery that baffles
Ain't
the more
nobody
rationally
taking
minded
that.
such as myself.
I'm
Listen.
not necessarily saying that that's something that I wouldn't be amenable to, but I just don't totally
Yeah,
understand how
this
you would
tall,
go
lanky
about-
guy's like looming over you, like
Yeah, I'm
looking
like
at you.
falling back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't totally understand how you would do such a thing, but if you would like, could you?
Very well. Barring that, I could try to make a bomb.
What is your coyote's names again?
Hippocrates.
Hippocrates. Yeah, I would say, but you can correct me if you have other ideas. Hippocrates is like real uneasy around this kid, Randy.
Randy is probably
He's got
equally
that
uneasy
that
around
animal
the dog.
sense that there's something
Ironic, such that he's a critter.
Is that is your acquaintance here going to be with us the entire time? Is he is this a friend? Hi.
Yes, Mr. Critter. For this critter right here is as close to family to me as anything under the cope of heaven. All right.
Critter is like drawing his denim cloak more tightly around himself.
Yeah, and Hippocrates is like real interested in what's under that cloak.
Down, boy.
Yes. Easy boy.
Yeah, please. If you could just, thank you.
You ever see a dog or an animal when their pupils dilate, like a kind of like a shark when there's something?
Sure.
Hippocrates' eyes just like
Oh God.
it's of blackness as it's sniffing at that denim cloak.
My cat used to get that bird vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Ephraim, you mentioned making a bomb. That brings up a point in this game. A lot of stuff you can do in this game. You can just try to do it, but certain things you have to have talents to do. Making bombs is one of those things. Driving is one of those things. So you wouldn't be able to build a bomb. However, you are right by a city. You could perhaps go and acquire a bomb.
Purchase a bomb.
Someone up there if you wanted to go the bomb route. But I just wanted to explain
Great.
Yeah, the kids.
specialized things of that nature.
He's like a bomb. He's got a bomb in his brain.
If any of you have the black finger
Let's use
talent,
the touch
that makes
boy.
a bomb.
Let's
Yes,
get him to.
Yes, of course. We needn't rely on my ample and thorough bomb-making skills, which are great. Oh, indeed. I could make an incendiary that would boggle your very minds. But if we have
We've all heard.
if we have some sort of will worker in our midst,
My friend
then
Ephraim here dabbles in a little bit of everything.
yes.
But luckily we needn't even cross that bridge as we have the boy.
So let's send this boy out and see what he can do to the tracks.
We can't go alone.
Why not?
I would really prefer not to.
I mean,
go
my
alone.
God, look at him.
Send the coyote with him.
No, I would really prefer that. No,
I don't
no,
understand what
please.
you want, Mr. Critter.
Yeah, I just the Yodi is just please. Okay, I would
I'll
prefer
go-
if it kept its distance from
I'll go
me.
with him. How about this? I got an idea. How about we'll go out to the spot. The boy tangles up the tracks like he knows how to do.
Mm-hmm.
The train comes, it stops. We crawl
We
on
don't need to
board.
wait for the train to come. We just need to tangle up the tracks and keep moving. Come on.
That's a good point.
You fellas do a lot of planning, not a lot of moving.
Send a boy. I can set up on a ridge, watching your progress. If anything goes askew,
Then you could make a bomb
exactly.
easily, right? So you could probably do it real fast.
I can start working on it now. So
I don't know that we want to make Dr. Estes, make a bomb. Seems like asking an awful lot.
Sure.
Let's just
I didn't
have-
mean no offense.
No,
My
no.
skills are more constructive than destructive, Mr. Critter. Please,
He does sketches of bombs.
if you go about your business, then we'll see that your business is well done. And if anything goes awry, you have your friends to fall back on.
Heh.
Why don't we Because once the train is stopped, we have as much time as we want, right?
But we don't need to wait
Until
for
they
the
fix
train
the
to
tracks.
stop.
We just need to bust up the track.
Exactly.
Jacob Skins, why don't you give me a memory roll for
Sure.
what you just said?
Is that 1 or 2 die?
It's always 1 die, unless you're keen in it, and then you roll like you have advantage.
I've rolled a 3.
A 3, that's
no,
a fail.
sorry, a 4.
4. Okay, so this is whenever someone rolls a 4, that means it kind of comes down to fate, and that means I either just make a decision that I think is cool for the story, or more likely, I basically flip a coin, and we see if it's good or bad. Yeah, Jacob, what you said makes sense to you. If you foul those tracks, you'll have as long as you want.
Right. I say we go out. Who's got a car?
You do. Slick
Well,
Pete.
I know I do. Andrew, you tell everybody my
sorry.
secrets.
Oh, sorry. I
Yeah,
thought that was a secret. Jeez,
Well, you
Louise.
do, Slick Pete. You have one. I've seen
I'm
you.
sorry. I didn't know. A
Everybody
car is a
Right.
hard
If it's
secret.
just me,
You're
Hard
always,
get in
you're
my
always
car.
talking about it.
No. If it's just me, everyone get in my car. Do
A
not look
car
in
is
the
a very
trunk.
hard secret to keep. But if you wanted it to be a secret, we could say it's.
No. The cat's out of the bag. Get into
Where?
my car. We'll drive out there. Either you use your superhuman strength, you'll make a bomb, or I don't know, I'll use a sledgehammer, and then we can get on our way.
So the railroad tracks run right by Black Iron City. They run under where that big crane is, because the train
the
will
big
stop
crane.
here,
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
crane
yeah.
comes down, and
Sure.
it brings up cargo, and it brings cargo down. But you obviously don't want to foul the tracks right here, because there's guard posts everywhere. You would just bring a hornet's nest of trouble down upon you.
Gotta go to a
It's
location that's
But
more
you
remote.
could just, you could take a car.
Yeah, on our way out of town
Yeah.
as we head towards
I'm
these
sorry I
swamps.
outed your secret car.
I was hoping to catch a ride with someone else,
Uh,
but fine.
It's your job, Slick Pete.
Slick Pizza,
what's-
DD.
What's the
What's
call?
that has a driver as well with a truck, a large slow truck. Was that
What-
has a man named O'Neill with a large slow truck?
Does anyone know this O'Neill?
Do any of us know, O'Neill?
You can give me a memory roll. Anyone who wants to.
Sure.
I got a 5.
I don't know, O'Neill.
6.
Oh, I got a 7.
5, 6, and a 7. Cool. So
got
maybe
a
you
1.
all know him to varying degrees.
Everybody knows O'Neill.
O'Neill is he's commonly a driver for hire. He's an older man, kind of with a belly like a potbelly stove and kind of wobbly legs, and a pretty wide brimmed hat, and he just kind of consistently has a little dirtweed cigarette in his mouth rolled up.
Okay, this is exactly me that you're describing.
Keeps to
Come on.
himself. Yeah. He's got little horn rimmed glasses and
He didn't say with a vape in his mouth. Come on.
and I'll say that Ephraim, with that 7, which is effectively like a crit, that he is known to be a driver for hire, but you also know that he is commonly involved with ne'er-do-wells and things like this, like
Things like us.
a heist. Yeah.
Okay.
But he's pretty quiet in general. But yeah, you're familiar with the man.
Discretion is important in this line of work. And I must say that while your automobile is most impressive, Mr. Pete, if we are to be we have yet to discuss the quantity of steel that we're going to be transporting, but a large and sturdy truck might be more suited to the purpose of heavy metal transport than a vehicle.
Oh, I agree
Such
by
as you
far. I've
possess.
got the trunk of a Miata.
What kind of car do you have?
A little car.
Is it a Miata?
Do you want to show them your car?
Sure, yeah.
I drew Eliza's car.
Whoa, sweet.
We have to wait for Secret Keeper
Modern
Harlan.
day
When
Miata.
when they come back, we'll see.
Okay.
Car.
Cool.
I have a question for the dungeon master. I rolled a 1 to learn to see if I knew anything about O'Neill, but I'm curious just what my sort of gut feeling is about him.
About O'Neill? You can
That's
give
right.
me an intuition roll.
All right. So I'm keen in intuition. That means I rolled 2 times.
You
and
got
take
it.
the better
Pick
result.
the better one.
2 times about the guy that you don't know.
I don't know. This is purely to see if I, what I think
Sure.
of him.
Yeah.
This is the gut check.
3 and a 5.
Basically, what's that?
A 5.
A 5. Cool. So I'll say, since you don't know him and he's not present,
But I have +1 to emotional.
so you'd also add that.
That would give you a
That's a
6 then.
6.
Oof.
Cool.
I'm very emotional.
So what you're basically doing is reading your companions' faces as you see Ephraim and Jacob and Slick Pete when they're kind of placing the name. They don't seem particularly concerned. So I would say that your intuition is there's no explicit danger is going off.
Got it.
Cool. So yeah, you're kind of like, there's like a yard down here at the base of this plateau where people store their vehicles. And there are scrappy men and their dogs who kind of roam around and, they're just patrolling the yard. This is where people store their vehicles who don't want to pay a premium price to bring them up on the lift up into Black Iron City. So the bulk of vehicles are here in these rows, and O'Neill is sitting on the back of that flatbed truck with his like perpetual cigarette, just staring off at the planes as they shimmer from the heat.
Randy's trying to find a place to stand, but he keeps having to sort of shuffle out of the way because the guy with the dog comes by.
Yeah, and this guard dog is like barking at you, Randy. It's and the guard is kind of like trying to knee the dog away because you're not, it's daytime. You can wander through this yard if you like, but he's kind of like, shut up, leave the kid alone, goddammit. And that dog, it's like is sniffing at that cloak of yours, that denim cloak.
What the hell is under that thing?
Can we?
What?
I was gonna be like, can we do something about this? Can we do something better than a cloak? I don't know.
What do you mean?
What's happening under there? You got some like raw meat? What is this?
Listen up, fella. You're driving Hippocrates nearly to distraction with whatever you got under there. Now, if it's a rope of sausages or what have you, come across.
I don't have any, but there's no meat, okay?
If we're going to have to help you out, we're going to have to help you out. What's the matter?
It's just my cat, okay?
What?
Kid brought a cat. Leave him alone.
It's my cat.
You travel with a cat?
Yeah.
Where does it shit?
Well, it's
don't ask the questions you don't want to know the answers.
I do if he's getting in my car.
He doesn't. I promise. He doesn't. It's complicated.
Doesn't?
Okay. No, he's very clean.
How complicated can it be, critter?
You might want to watch your snacks or maybe your watch, but
come on, listen. Come on, Randy. You know how he likes to put his head out the window. If we're gonna be in a car, they're gonna have to see.
It hurts when he does that.
It hurts?
I think I'd get up real close to him again. I'm like, listen up, critter. You're playing awfully coy with us. I don't want no secrets in this team. You understand?
Not a secret. Fine. All right. Fine. And Critter pulls back his denim cloak, and you can see sort of cradled in his arm there is what all of us as players would know to be a raccoon or some kind of crazy apocalypse raccoon fused into Randy's body.
Fused?
Yes. It's like sort of the head and like front shoulder and arm of some weird raccoon.
Is this like a catatonic style raccoon or like a frantic get me out of here raccoon?
No, he's He's relaxed.
There are other kinds of raccoons.
This is
I don't
the
know.
other
If I
side
was
of-
a raccoon fused into someone's body, I would either be like down for the count, or I'd be like, "Get me the fuck out of here."
It
I don't
depends
think
on
I'd
the
be
person.
like,
I
"It's
would
okay."
describe him as reluctantly
Ah,
accepting
God.
of his situation.
in the
Okay.
in the pendulum of mutations, when it swings from Slick Pete the other way, we have Randy Critter with his half raccoon coming out of his ribs.
It's my cat. When
My
a
God,
while
man, that
back-
is not a cat.
back at it, what do you mean it's not a cat? Of course it's a cat. Anyway, back
Yeah, as soon as you reveal it, Hippocrates is like barking, and Wazat almost falls over, almost trips on his own heel, and he's like, "God damn, what is it? What's coming out of your rib, boy?"
But you act like they never seen a cat before. One time, a few years ago, back on Grandma's property, the cat he got himself into the irradiated sludge basin, and I went in after him, and when I grabbed him and tried to hug him,
They got all
Damn.
sludged
we got all stuck.
Pete, who'd you bring me? God damn.
The kid, he's good. The kid can do.
All right.
You just watch.
Well, we
I'm
can take-
sorry, was that he is not a choice of mine, but I do trust my friend Ephraim, and clearly he's a close confidant of Ephraim's.
Well, I must admit, he's the first time I've ever set eyes on such a thing as this.
What
but
is
Mr.
this?
Mr. Skins vouched for his character, so if I may pass the buck, so to speak, down the line.
Not all of us mutants can pass as Val Kilmer's out there in the world.
Well, listen up, Critter. You got one thing
All
to
of us
prove
has
your
to
worth
make
to this
do.
little operation. Let's see if you can come across with your abilities, and we'll see if we can overlook this little ringtail problem of yours.
Yeah, and you can see that his left arm is sort of like he has use of it, but it's like a little bit raccoonified. It's like
It's a raccoon
sort of
arm.
I should have known when you.
All the more reason to hitch a ride with our friend O'Neill here, so
Sure.
that we might have a coyote car and a cat car.
Very well. Shotgun. And,
Yeah,
Is there
you come upon Slick Pete's car, Harlan, if it's possible to show everyone Slick Pete's car.
Are we overlooking the fact that we have access to two cars here? Should we be doing a two-car? Nice. This rocks. Slick
I
Pete's
love
car
it.
is incredible.
What's the name of your car? Everyone names their vehicle.
It's kind of a Chevette, isn't it? It's named Crystal Visions.
Oh hell yeah!
I love it.
Fleetwood
and I
Mac.
think, it has a harpoon turret and a winch on the top.
damn.
Despite
Awesome.
probably not weighing a whole lot or having a lot of horsepower, still handy enough to have. Yeah. So you have this, and was that suggest you could take two vehicles if you like as well, especially given the way that the coyote.
We could almost.
the cat
all-
is fine. He won't make any issues.
We could make.
Randy reaches into his pocket and grabs a little treat and hands it
I'm
to
just
the
saying,
little
we don't
raccoon
wanna-
hand.
Does your cat have a name?
A name? For
Yeah.
a cat?
Oh, is a name stranger than having him fuse into your body?
That just seemed like a weird line to draw, Randy.
It does present an interesting philosophical question. Where does the raccoon end and Mr. Critter begin?
Oh,
Are they-
Ephraim, I believe it's a cat, not a raccoon.
Forgive me for my
definitely a raccoon.
taxonomical precision here.
Oh no, he and I know that it's a raccoon, but we're trying to keep our friend here happy and relaxed.
It could be a
since
cat,
When
you
he's
don't know
not
what's out
relaxed, he gets a
there.
little upset.
He's just my cat. I had never thought about naming him before, but I guess we could.
Something to consider as we take to the road.
Yeah, no pressure.
Bad luck to have a cat without a name.
Okay.
Sorry.
So
Okay. Yeah.
Crystal Visions? No, that's taken. What about
Kitty?
I like
Kitty's
that.
a fine name for a cat.
Kitty's
Kitty's
a
good.
star.
I like karate.
Karate is.
Sure.
That's an intermediary level name.
So now
I would call him karate.
Karate and was it Hieronymus?
Hippocrates.
Hippocrates. They can't be in the same vehicle for ease of travel. So-
This is a logic puzzle situation where the goose cannot ride with the coyote who cannot ride with the grain, but we must get all three across the river.
Exactly.
Very,
I
a
would
very updated
suggest-
version.
that perhaps Ephraim and Hippocrates come with me for some
God.
visions, and Mr. Skins, Mr. Critter, and Karate ride with Mr. O'Neill, making a stop on the way to destroy the train tracks.
I think that's a pretty good idea.
All right.
Lovely.
Okay.
Great. Which direction are you heading from here? You have two choices: west or east.
And the swamps are east, correct?
Yes.
I would say east. Let's
East.
destroy the tracks a few miles east of the Black Iron City.
Let's do it.
Let's
That makes
follow the
sense.
tracks en route to the swamps.
Right.
Perfect. We have 2 cars. This is like unprecedented, right?
Oh yeah. This is well. For those of you watching, everyone's playing a level 10 character. If you were playing this actually in the game, it would take you anywhere. If you were using the XP system built into the game, it would take you anywhere from 27 to 45 game sessions to
Phew.
at the level where these characters are in terms of their all
Hell
the
yeah.
talents that they have and stuff. So we're seeing kind of mid to late game characters in action here for this two-parter. Characters who have cars.
The godlike
not-
power of 2 cars.
Start with cars. Yeah.
We could go rafting if
There
we
are no
needed
new
to.
worlds to conquer.
It's just like modern day. Let's take separate cars. We're killing each other for gasoline, but
Right.
let's drive separately because our
My car is so
Our
little.
pets don't get
Everybody
along.
couldn't even fit. Okay, look, these people couldn't all fit into this car. Am I right?
And there would be a full-on battle between a mutant raccoon and a
your
mutant
car
coyote.
can fit 5 people. Slick Pete, it's just like a tight, it's 3.
It's just
jammed
like
in the
trying to
back.
sneak
But-
into a drive-in movie when you're in high school.
Yeah, it would be a full car.
If
But-
you could keep a leash on the Yodi, you'd be fine.
I think we got a good
Karate is a
place.
creature of peace.
No leashes. Hippocrates
But it would
and
also
I have an
be just as
understanding.
like a world.
I'll be honest, I don't believe this story about how Karate doesn't poop, and I don't want him in my car.
You explain to me how he would. Explain it to me.
I would rather not. I don't even know the ins and outs of where he stops and you begin, but I know that if something eats, it poops.
Well,
Does it? I am fascinated more and more with your biology, Mr. Critter. And if you would allow yourself to be anesthetized
I
after
think
our...
perhaps
don't know
it would
what
be
that
for
means.
everyone's best interest if we keep
Anesthetizing
Mr. Estes
the kid.
and Mr. Critter away from each other also for the length of the trip.
There will be time enough for experiments such as these when our deed is done.
Randy
Shall
is
we take
sort
to the
of-
proud highway?
I say we shall.
Cool.
Randy is huddling himself close to Karate. I think he's trying to decide which car he's less scared of.
Come on, kid, you riding with me? We're gonna ride in the truck.
Great. Okay.
Cool. So
Shut
you're
up.
heading out of sight of Black Iron City down the way, and then you'll do this deed.
I ain't never been in a push carriage before, mister.
Cool.
Just put a blanket down in the back for Hippocrates. I don't want him to touch the.
Touch your cherry ride?
Yeah. And I was gonna say, Slick Pete, you just as like a general world survival rule, leaving your car, which is probably your most cherished possession and lifeline, behind for a lengthy amount of time when you're traveling a great distance away, it's just like generally inadvisable. It gives other people
Someone
a
can
lot
steal
of
it.
time to figure out a way to steal it.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I'm trying to
I was
imagine
gonna take it anyway.
what the modern day equivalent of having 2 cars in the Duster universe would be, and I think it would just be like
an extravagant convoy of.
I think it's 3 bathrooms and a 2-bedroom apartment.
yeah,
pretty much.
or like Macklemore cars that have been on like Pimp My Ride or something and are all silly.
Yeah.
Like they've got panini presses and flat screen TVs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is a serious
Old ones,
uh,
plasma screens.
a boon to Slick Pete. It's a feather in Slick Pete's cap as
Hell
a
yeah.
successful hawk that he has made it to this point. With
Don't
this,
ask me how I got it.
Boy.
All right.
Oh, Exhibit
Um,
has really done his handiwork in here.
Oh, fish tank.
I heard you like.
So the big truck, which is named the Dropout, the brakes squeal to a stop as O'Neill kind of slows it along these tracks, and Randy Critter, you're kind of you're given the spotlight here. This is a remote section of tracks. It's kind of like bordered by some low bluffs on either side.
Mr. Critter, do you need anything to help get you going, or?
Just maybe if everybody could like turn. It's hard.
It's
hard
like
to
peeing?
do it.
Cool.
Yeah, it's hard to do it with everybody watching.
Doesn't like it when people.
Oh, I can't hear.
We can't hear
Oh,
you.
Ephraim.
Dr. Estes,
Oh
you're
dear,
muted.
Estes, your mouth is moving, but ain't no words coming out.
Sorry, my Hippocrates was squirming around something fierce on the floor, and I wanted to mute it. Don't worry, we'll offer you all the privacy you need, Mr. Critter. Just go on down there, and we won't gawk at you. And if he goes away, I will immediately take out like some long distance lenses and.
Like a backwards lens, you turn around and it flips over to watch backwards.
Yeah, you had Russ. You had a spyglass,
And that's what I'm thinking this is.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just incorporate that. I love it. So
Genius.
you can add +1 to any of your focus rolls that have to do with seeing things far away.
Okay.
We're on Overwatch, Mr. Critter, but I'll blink real good when you actually do your stuff.
Okay.
Cool. So Ephraim, why don't you give me a focus roll to kind of survey? Maybe you kind of stagger to the top of one of these bluffs and kind of take in the broiling plains around you.
Which gets a +1 for the
You'll get a +1, and then if you're keen in it, which I don't think you
not.
are, you just roll 1d6 and you add +1 to that.
Oh, I rolled a 1.
Roll
So
a 1, so effectively
That's a
a
2.
0. Yeah.
or a 1, or yeah.
What did you roll in the dice?
I rolled a 1.
Okay, so 0, so +1, so you got a 1.
Cool.
Which is so yeah, it's so hot today, and the horizon is shimmering so much. It kind of just looks like the ground is melting up into the dull orange sky. It's almost hard to tell where the ground ends and the sky begins. It's kind of hard to. There's definitely no one in the immediate area, but you're not sure about the distance because of that shimmering heat. But as far as you can tell, this is a clear window.
Okay. I guess I'm
The coast is clear.
gonna make my way tentatively down towards the tracks and just pick a spot and
He's doing that little like sidestep down a rocky
yeah, exactly.
incline.
I'm gonna go with him and kind of watch his back. I'm actually gonna look around to make sure that nobody's coming.
Sure, you can give me a focus roll too. For the immediate area, you don't have any technology like the doctor to see kind of farther.
I do have a +1 to my mental, which will give me a 4.
4, so that comes into my purview. It's dead quiet here. There's nobody around save for a few small lizards.
A little too quiet.
Nor are there any kind of hiding spots here. These bluffs are pretty just kind of like sandy and
Go on, Randy, do your sinful business.
All right, I'll try. And Randy will look down at the railroad tracks, and he'll try to conjure up images of things that he just really can't stand. Slippery rocks that you slip on when you're trying to cross the creek, and the men who drove him and grandma off her property, and his nose begins to bleed, and his eyes glow with a wrathful light. And as they do, the blood begins to bubble and steam. And he's going to use the Teak ability Wreck.
Yeah.
Which I can use to destroy armor specifically.
Yeah. And that will cost you 3 teak points. So when you play a teak, you have your own like little resource currency, which are teak points. Every time Randy Critter sleeps for 8 hours, he gets to roll a new pool of those. So right now he's spending 3 to wreck this. So if any, Jacob Skins, you can see this, but Dr. Estes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I keep saying it wrong because we have an Estes Park here in Colorado, and Estes.
In my head, he was born in a community that was all like packing containers from semi trucks, and an Estes truck. His family lived in.
That's perfect. I love it. So if you sneak a peek down here, Randy Critter asked for privacy, but if you were to sneak a peek, you see this. You see the blood bubbling and the steam, and then you see the thick iron of these tracks. Like there's just a squeal, like that almost sounds like an animal in pain as this metal is like starts twisting and is being rent, and the thick iron nails that are in there, they kind of strain and begin to bend, and like the tops pop off like almost violently as this like just one side of this rail is just bent and like pulled far. And the rail itself doesn't split or break, but it's clearly pulled out so that a train would not be able to use this track. And the squeal of that metal just kind of like hangs in the air. And Wazat and O'Neill are kind of like looking out the window of their truck, and they just sort of look ashen at seeing this. And you see O'Neill kind of like whispering to Wazat and like pointing like kind of like in concern. Oh, the doctor's on mute again.
Or I'm like, this going to be a problem. May I roll like an emotion? Well, maybe that one. I'm just kind of like gazing off into this.
No, but I mean, you could take that in. Do you want to roll an intuition on that?
I'd love to roll an intuition thing to see if they're
totally
if they're really offended by what they just saw.
So you roll the 1d6. I don't think you have any.
No, that's just a 4.
A 4. So again, that'll come into my purview. It is an animated discussion. You can't hear the ins and outs of it, but it seems like O'Neill was not privy to the knowledge that there's a teak riding in his truck, and he just saw this. And you can kind of see by the hand gestures of Wazat kind of calming him and like gesticulating like this is the situation that we've been given. Chill out. We're all about to be rich.
All right.
Deal with it.
Interesting. Okay.
Rich.
I might I don't know. I might lean over to Pete and just be like, Mr. Pete, you're a persuasive sort. I believe our driver may need some persuasion to allow our little convoy to stick together. He doesn't seem to cotton too well to our friend Critter's particular talents.
Why do you say that?
Well, as I said, there's a lot of pious, prejudicial folk out here on the plains, and a sort of horrified pall seems to have come over Mr. O'Neill.
Well,
that's why they call him horrified Paul.
Horrified Paul O'Neill.
We do outnumber him, so we can just keep our eyes open and our ears open too.
Very well.
Although they always are. I've never understood the expression.
Yes, indeed.
Although I did know a man
who had lids on his ears.
Yes.
What a biological curiosity!
Your lids? Oh,
I would love to see such a thing.
Close your ears.
Yuck. So with that, the tracks have been suitably damaged, and you can continue east. We will take a quick intermish. We're gonna drink. We're gonna drink pee. The better than heroes
Wait a
tradition.
minute, what?
You heard him.
Do I have to?
Yes.
They
Punctuation.
Drink
There's
and
no
pee, and it's become
punctuation.
drink pee, and then they
Okay.
all think it's like cute.
This is the desert. It's survival out here.
Oh, this is a water.
Wait, we're the ones in the desert, and we
Harlan,
don't drink
take
pee.
us out. Harlan, get us out of here.
Man,
Slick Pete working on his ham bone over here.
Yeah.
We're
Hey,
having
it's
an
my
extremely
special
normal.
talent.
people are so
Had to drink
needed.
pee. It's when in Rome.
Forced to drink pee.
But yeah,
How was your pee?
like any good post-apocalyptic world, I ran it through a crude filtration system first.
There
It
you
wasn't
go.
gross.
Thank you.
How
Liquid
crude.
death.
Is it another
sparkling.
person
That's
who
how you
then
make-
pays it out themselves?
That's how you
Nature's
make
Brita.
well pee into
Just
like
a guy
the
named
the
Brita.
shelf stuff, you know,
That's
the
right.
high
Yeah,
grade
you,
stuff.
shelf.
you pee
Yes.
into a Brita and then it comes out as like
Mhm.
high grade pee. not
Yeah.
not the bad shit.
Yeah.
There
Much
is no
smoother.
pee drinking mechanic in the game.
Liquid
Surprisingly,
There should
death.
you would think, yeah.
Sparkling pee.
Given that players, if they run out of water, they can die from it. I guarantee a player will be like, "Can I drink my pee?"
Can I
better
drink
come up
my
with an
pee?
answer for
You
that.
bet
You can give
you really
people-
should.
Yeah.
Because
No,
Drinking
if they
pee.
ask
Hey,
for
get
permission
out
to
of
drink their pee, it's not about the game anymore.
Yeah.
They're playing a different game.
Yeah, this is. It's going to
It's a
slowly take
different
over the
game.
game, Andrew.
Yeah.
Sir, may I drink my
It's-
pee?
yeah.
That
It
is
is
going to be
a-
a meta game within the game.
Oh,
Have
God.
to tell me to, sir.
But then you
Should
can
I
give
roll to
people-
see if I can drink my pee?
I rolled a number 1.
Oh, we're crushing.
Oh man!
Why don't you have me in your games more often, Andrew?
Talk about telekinetically derailed. Holy shit. Okay.
We have a real
Oh.
game to play.
Wow.
So
We're back.
anyway, I'm cradling my fusion radiation raccoon.
We are back from
Yeah, let's focus up.
Let's stop
We need
being
to focus on
ridiculous.
Yeah.
My
Get
My cat.
serious.
karate.
Karate the raccoon.
There
Karate.
was a raccoon
The
named
inborn
of
raccoon.
karate, and he lived inside Randy's body.
Nice. Pete is now a musician.
He's Jim Croce. B-sides rule.
He went to the same school as my dad, Jim Croce.
Interesting.
Cool.
Great.
R.I.P.
So y'all are
Gone,
continuing
gone too soon.
toward
And my dad's
Parson.
still around.
Yeah, we're tearing up the tracks. We're gonna head back, and I think we're gonna take this train under cover of night. It leaves in the morning, or it leaves tonight.
Wait, we
Oh,
take
come
the
on,
train?
that is.
I thought we have to just avoid the train.
You can't
No.
do that to me and Ross.
Jacob's being cracking wise. We're going to leave. We're going to leave this little General Sherman's bow tie right where it is, so we can go on down to where to steal these lions.
And just a point of procedure, Randy Critter, I believe you have 2 teak points left.
Yes.
Um,
What do we roll to establish our teak points? Is it a focus check?
Yeah, it's focus.
Okay, then I have 3.
You have 3 left?
Yes. Because I get I have plus. Oh no, I'm keen and focus.
Yeah. So you have
Never
2.
mind.
So
I have
2
two-
left, but
I
you
have
do
2
have
left.
the ability as a teak
should've-
to siphon health away from yourself and give yourself more points. If you want to do that on this trip, you could.
And can I do that on the fly?
You can do it. You could do it in a fight whenever you want. But it's something that you can do. I just want to let you know. You could.
So
do it.
if I spend teak points past how many I have, it just comes out of my hit points.
That's cool. Or is it?
Or do I have to roll?
That would
No, it does not come out. You have to use the teak action, which is called siphon, which takes 2 of your action
Got it.
points,
Got
and then you damage yourself and take that much in teak points.
Oh yeah, because there's the possibility you can critically damage yourself, right?
That other thing is
Yes.
a cool idea for a talent, though. Just saying. That weird self-vampirism.
Mm-hmm. Just like
You
suck
can
your
still
own
sort
life.
of do that.
Totally.
So that's what he does.
That's what
hurts
he
himself
does. It's just worse.
and gets the
No,
teak
but like the
points.
auto one.
Oh, like
Just
if he
saying.
just runs out, it just hurts.
Something
Yeah.
to put a thumb in for,
Yeah, Andrew. Why don't you let someone who knows what they're doing take a crack at this game?
I'm just saying it's
No,
neat
I love any
that the
ideas.
creator of the game is here.
Shoot 'em.
We could say,
Shoot 'em
what
at me.
about that?
No,
I do that
100%.
all- we do
And
it
I
all
have
the
to say,
100%.
Andrew, while we're still like well off the rails,
Yeah.
this
the whole
is
point. We came here to destroy the rails.
that's right.
Literally.
We refuse to be railroaded. We have broken the rails. But so far, this is so fun. I love this world. It's so great.
Oh,
very cool.
thanks for playing. This is such a motley outfit. I love it.
Oy.
I wish you all nothing but the best. I really want a
Oh,
happy ending
God.
to this crew. I
It's
don't
not
always want a
good.
happy ending for an outfit, but I want one for this group. So you all continue east. It was sort of late morning when you destroyed the tracks. It's about a 7.5 hour drive down to Parsons. So when you arrive, the sun is just sort of a dull glow on the horizon behind you. And before you, you can see this immense city kind of twinkling in the night. And normally cities don't twinkle. They have lanterns, sometimes every now and then, like maybe a gas lamp or two, but you generally don't see light from a distance. But this is almost like it is an impressive sight, because in addition to the large city, there's this massive refinery complex behind it, with almost a cathedral of smokestacks that belch flame into the sky and sort of like illuminate the complex below it, and smoke is just sort of perpetually pouring out, kind of dousing the stars beyond, and you can just kind of see this huge, impressive and sort of intimidating city before you. And it's up to you if you've ever been to Parsons before. It is the largest city in the Wasted Plains. It would make sense if you've been there. Maybe you have avoided it because where big cities are, lots of trouble can be found. But that is where you are headed now. And you pull in. There are multiple yards for vehicles as well as stables for horses on the outskirts of the city. And you kind of pull into one of these yards, and there's just like roads.
Are we listening to? I'm just imagining it. And are we listening to like a tape in the car?
That would be a truly impressive feat of Old One's engineering. Sure,
Probably not. Probably not.
In my car, we are just. We're
Ethan-
listening to me going,
Turn the
California knows how to party. California knows how to party. In the city of Parsons.
City of Parsons, yeah.
That old plains tale, that old dirge blown in off of the toxic plains.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that music video.
We're all singing
nice
it.
recall, Pete. What tape would you be listening to, Jacob? If you had this?
No, I think this is it. I think it's a sing along of an ancient hymn of the desert that we all know, and it's
Kellogg's
the
Special K jingle.
City of Parsons.
Been in the game for 12 years making rap tunes. Ever since Honeys was wearing Sassoon.
But it's got kind of a sea shanty vibe.
Totally.
The coyote is doing one of these out of the window.
Hell yeah.
I'm not in that car, huh? I'm just sitting
dirty.
quietly.
Oh shit, neither am I.
Nope.
Yeah,
No,
there's
we're
like a,
in the other truck.
in the truck
Let
there
the
is like kind of
dogs
a
out.
crew cab situation, so you two are in the back, and I'll say it's been a pretty quiet ride in that truck. With was that sort of painfully making small talk and little observations as you have ventured east. But
does it seem like people saw me doing my?
He definitely did.
I won't even make you roll. Yeah, it seems like despite your plea for privacy, you were totally watched, and you can kind of feel. It's probably a feeling that you have felt in the past of sort of being judged, and it's sort of like looming behind you over your shoulders is this unspoken tension in the cab of this truck as it drives along, and there's just this unspoken thing that's hanging in the air, and you know that you were spotted. But on the way, one of the topics of small talk was that we'll tell you about his older brother Grady, who is working on the chain here in Parsons, back in the refinery complex. Working on the chain is a punishment, and his brother was caught running firewater in the city, basically like smuggling it, and he was caught, and so now he's working as punishment. But his brother has worked at this vault complex where the steel is located, and Wazat has assured you that he can draw you a map of this vault, including its weak spots.
I've certainly asked you this before, but I can't remember. What is religion in this world? Like, is there Christianity? Is there?
What a deep question. I don't mean deep in terms of philosophy, just in the answer. The short answer, religion is generally, for you, Slick Pete, and your companions, probably not a part of your life. You are the ancestors of people who lived under ashen skies and hid in the cracks of the earth in a lost age that was just hell on earth. And so coming out of that, they would not have brought religion with them to teach their kids. They would, you are basically...
But they're still scared of the teak.
They're scared of the teak because of, not in
power?
a superstitious way, but in a practical way. If there's someone around you that can invisibly and silently snoop around in your thoughts, influence your thoughts. They can lift you off the ground and throw you around like a rag doll. They could set you on fire just by looking at you. Like that has nothing to do with religion. That's just practical survival. But
so the zealots that you talked about earlier are kind of like
they
a minority.
practice an antiquated and extreme, well, maybe not even that extreme, extreme
totally
version
unrelated.
of Christianity that they've sort of dug out of the past, where they live this like very severe life, and they consider Teeks, heretical and sort of evil. But the other people, it's not religion based, it's like survival based.
Right.
And like,
It's not homophobia, it's danger on the dance floor.
sure.
I'm pretty sure they just don't like karate.
I'm not sure about the metaphor, but sure. What'd you say,
they
Randy?
like respect the power and are like, oh shit.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, but not for the reverend who they come up and they round up Teeks and they pay people to rat them out, and they take them back by force to be killed and sort of displayed in an area called the Southlands, which is full of oil pumps and reverent communities and pretty much nothing else. No one goes down there to the Southlands.
Well, how are we?
How are you?
Like, how are we?
Fine,
how
thanks. How are
our,
you?
our characters right now? Just to snap us back to.
Oh, great. Yes, thank you. I thought you meant how are you doing? I'm like, great, you didn't get hurt and making small talk. You're pulling into this yard outside Parsons, and there's cars and there's commotion. There's just like engines revving. There's like a circle of bikes kind of off a distance from the yards, and you can see that there's a fire that's been built in the middle, and you could see some rough customers kind of gathered around that fire. But you pull into some slots and crap, what is his name?
O'Neill.
O'Neill.
Was that?
O'Neill, shit. Neil cuts the engine on the truck, and Pete, if you want to park next to him, you can. And a guard comes down. He has a headlamp, like a flickering headlamp, and he's got like a big leather bag on his hip and a gun on his other hip, and he kind of comes down and takes in the truck, and he takes out a wooden a little piece of wood. It's about a 1/4 inch thick, and it has a symbol burned into both ends, and he snaps it in half, and he tosses one half to O'Neill, and he just says in a very tired tone, he's like, "You lose it, you lose your ride," and he keeps going. And Pete, did you park as well?
Mm-hmm.
Same. He snaps this chit, and he tosses it to you. He's like, "You lose it, you lose your ride," and he just
Like
kind
when
of
you,
making his way down the.
When you have to check a bag in a shitty store.
Yeah, definitely. So you have this little wooden chit, and it has this sort of just marking on it. It's not a number. It's just like a symbol that they use to designate that it's your ride.
Okay.
And yeah, so now you're on the outskirts of Parsons, just kind of looming before you. There are concrete block walls that ring the city, and there's a big main gate, and you can see people going into the city and a few people trickling out. Most people don't travel at night, so it's a little bit rarer to see people leaving the city at night, but there's a few people here and there. But yeah, what would you all like to do?
Suppose we should find some place to post up, right?
Sure.
I reckon so. And
Yes.
just so I'm clear, are we here not just to rest, but to speak to this guy so that we can get him to get us the map from memory?
We could potentially, I was just going to say that. So we have this guy who,
Is that's brother?
yes, who can get us this map. We can either free him, we could literally just visit him, or we could leave it alone and we could go in without a map.
I mean, we've got nothing else to do, right? I mean, if we're not going in right now, or should we go in right now?
No, I think you're right. I think I think the move is go look for the guy.
Yeah, let's
Find
do
the
it.
guy.
I think
Yeah,
we're trying.
and-
Is anybody a sneak stir? I think it's going to be a matter of just busting them out then.
That is correct, and that's something that maybe Wazat told you on the trip, Jacob. Is that if possible, he wants to break his brother
So break
Grady
him out.
out of
Grady.
here, and that's
So I'll lay all of this on Slick Pete after we get out and remingle cars. I tell the whole story about how there's this brother and so on and so forth. We could get a map.
And as far as skipping it, as it's been described to you, this vault is it's from the old granddad days. It is formidably
tricky.
Sort of like armored, and it has like a main gate in front and 2 armored guard towers beside it. And as Wazat calls it, like trying to take it from the front would be suicide. But as he's heard it told, if you could come through the swamps in the back and with his brother's map, he thinks that you could. He thinks that it might even be possible to get in and take that vault without even firing a shot off.
Incredible. So I tell all of that, and I'm like, "So what you think?"
Jailbreak is a mighty tall order.
It certainly is, and I ain't much a sneaking type. I'll kill anybody you put in front of me, but
Yeah, we send you
Set
in
a
there, guns
fire.
blazing. But what's that, critter?
Nothing.
I think he said he could set a fire. He says that a lot. That's kind of
Yeah, sorry. I say
okay.
that pretty
It's fine.
frequently just to myself, but it does sort of apply in this instance.
So
in
do we
that
know?
we could set a fire?
Is there visitation in the prison
Yeah.
when you're on the chain?
Yes.
Yeah, I
maybe
guess
we
I should
could-
ask who among you have been here before. It's totally up to you. You could just tell me. If
I've
you've
been
I
here
think
before.
I've traveled. I'm
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why don't you two give me memory rolls
Great.
for your time here?
cool.
I got a 1.
And I believe the good doctor is keen in that, so you'll roll twice and take the
correct.
better. And you have +1 in mental, so you'll also add +1.
You got a 5.
Great. So, yeah, your Ephraim, your work has brought you here. Your line of work. There's always need of somebody being patched up. And you've even been to the Exeter refinery complex. Horrible accidents are commonplace there all the time, and a man of your talents has been dispatched there probably plenty of times. And you would remember that there are both free folks who work there. They're there to work. They get their lodging is taken care of. They get food. They get clean H. They get paid in bolts, which is sort of the common currency of this world. But you would also know that as punishment, folks have to work on a chain that are there as well. And they are the refinery complex is massive. It is huge. It just sort of squats behind the city. And you would know that there are 22 individual like kind of complexes within this refinery. And it's sort of just mixed which ones are run. There's not like a separate section where those who work on the chain are. You could go from one complex to the next one, and it could be people working on the chain.
Okay, so finding an individual among all that would be
It could
pretty
be
damn
hard. You might need. I'll tell you this, Slick Pete. You might have rolled terribly in that memory, but you would just know this as a hawk. You might need some more information to help narrow your search instead of wandering around.
Yeah, being a peripatetic feller such as myself, it'd be pretty hard you're finding one needle in a proverbial haystack, so to speak.
Do you mean
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I'll also tell you this without success because you have been called in there. You were escorted by guards when you went, but you know that the free folks who work in there, they have a leather wristlet that they wear that's stamped, and it kind of just has like a little like metal bolt on it. And you know that those who work on a chain, they don't have that. They're just on a chain that's anchored there at their work site. So you were walking around without the the free folk worker pass, but that was because you were accompanied by a guard. You would not see anyone just wander around. You don't. No one is allowed to just freely wander around that complex.
Yeah. Very well. So we need to know where this feller is, where Grady's stationed, and then fetch ourselves some of them all-access passes.
Yeah. Do we? Is Wazat still with us?
Yeah, and O'Neill is staying behind at the truck.
Does Wazat have any idea where his brother is?
He does not. He just knows that he's working on a chain here. But Wazat's like, we could ask around. We could go. I don't know. We could split up. Go to one of the saloons. There's two of them here.
Are these saloons for people on the chain?
No,
Do they interact with normal
they're
people?
just saloons. Folks talk. Folks drinking. They start
Yeah.
gathering.
Are these people kept away from society or not?
Oh yeah, my brother. Yeah, he's always there. Where they got him working. They don't let him out to drink. Hell,
Yeah.
that wouldn't be punishment. Now would it?
I suppose it wouldn't, depending on who you're drinking with.
But maybe we could find maybe there's a bar where the jailers like to drink, or somebody else who works in the punishment supply industry.
Give me a memory roll for that.
Aye, Dan.
What's that?
All right then. Number memory roll. That's gonna be 6. A dirty
6. Great.
Yeah.
You do know, in fact, Jacob Skins. You would know if you've ever ventured to Parsons. If you're just looking to drink and have a good time, you go drink at the Rock Pile, which is a saloon just kind of for everyone to enjoy. It's got a big fighting pit in the center. Just kind of a classic saloon. There's another saloon called El Cayman, which is more popular with the soldiers and guards here in the city.
Okay.
And it's more for like the permanent residents of the city, and it has a much more buttoned down vibe.
Where is that?
El Cayman is kind of by the train depot. This is the end of the line for the train. The tracks that you fouled, they end here.
I'll tell the rest of them, be like,
There's this joint where the stuffed shirts and the guards like to hang out. You could go there, but you start asking questions, they'll twig to you real fast. You have to start cutting throats.
Wait, by
No,
stuffed
it's such
shirts,
a
you
good
mean the
idea
guards?
for me to.
I mean, guards, law and order types and kind of the gentry. I'm just saying it ain't no dive.
Sure.
We can't go in there with Randy, for instance, and order up a whatever Randy and his cat drink.
Well, I certainly consider it no coincidence that you know this much about that sort of place. And I say we use that information and go there.
I don't know if it's such a good idea for me to go.
You don't have to go in, Randy. You can stay
Okay.
outside, see if your friend
I don't
finds
know.
something in the garbage.
Just wait
I
outside.
don't know. I don't want to be.
can we
alone
say
maybe
that-
I should stay with the truck?
Can we say that
O'Neill?
given Jacob's line of work and the reasons he might be in a bar like that in the first place, probably to do a job, can he try to remember maybe a back way in, a sneaky way in, a fast way out of the bar?
Sure. I'll make you give me another memory roll.
Let's do one more mem. I blew it. 3.
What'd you get?
3.
You got 3.
Yeah, you did blow it. Sorry. Yeah, maybe in the last job you did, you just went in and out the front door, because sometimes you're able to pull a job off like that. So you're not sure of any other. It's a good size saloon though, and it's probably likely it has a back door.
We just need to get in there and just get some of these folks talking. But I'd like to know a little bit more about what I'm asking. What is how do we know Grady from a dang hole in the ground? What's he look like? What's he in for? Well, we know he's in for firewater running, but
Mm-hmm.
he's in for a, um, for firewater running, but, uh,
Mm-hmm.
he's in for, uh, um, for firewater running, but, uh, he's in for, uh, um, for firewater running, but, uh, he's in for, uh, um, for firewater running, but, uh,
He looks like me, except he's got both his ears and, I don't know, maybe a few more wrinkles around his eyes.
Yeah, not sure much to go on in the way of distinguishing characteristics, but we can. He got a prison number?
He's like, no, not that I know of.
Yeah.
I
That's all
mean,
we got. Then I guess that's all we got.
yes. I don't know if it's a good idea to go in saying, "Hey, we're looking to spring a guy named."
Well,
Don't
sir,
worry.
that's not what I was planning.
Yeah.
Oh
we're
no,
not-
no, I'm just saying.
We're not going to suddenly become fools. Let's go in and let me do the talking. How about that?
Sounds about right.
Randy,
Critter, can
behind
you
at
watch
the-
Hippocrates while we make our way inside?
Me?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that'll be all right.
Yes. I believe perhaps y'all can cotton to each other over our time together, or at least form some kind of détente. and,
All right.
and maybe and Hippocrates is just like staring at you outside.
Hippocrates will. You have the dog handler talent, so Hippocrates will obey a command you give him. So if you tell him to sit,
Stay.
and stay, despite his misgivings about this mutant before him, he will do as you ask.
Great.
If you did not have the dog handler talent, then I would get to just decide what he did. But yeah,
You would
he'll
have
do
the
it.
coyote eat the boy.
He'll do it. So, and
mean-
you're staying back at the truck, Randy.
Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna climb
I
up
love
into
it.
the. I'm gonna climb up into the front seat next to, in between O'Neill, Hostility Cater, and then between him and the coyote, just looking
Great. So you're in the
back
middle
and forth
between them.
between the two of them. Yep.
Great. So yeah, O'Neill, the coyote's just sitting there like a dog that just he cannot believe it's obeying this training. Just the coyote just sitting there, kind of every now and then, like whines. It emits this kind of like low whine, and O'Neill just he takes out like a little scrap of paper and some of this ditch weed and just kind of like rolls a cigarette. He's just kind of staring straight ahead, and you could just see his jaw just like flexing as he rolls a cigarette, and then lights it, and it's just silence in this cab except for the occasional whine of Hippocrates.
I start swinging my feet over the seat very annoyingly.
Great.
A very special boy.
Yeah, O'Neill just a big exhale of the stinky smoke. Meanwhile, the rest of you are inside Parsons. A lot of towns, they slow way down at night. They get pretty quiet and sleepy. Parsons is still abuzz with activity. There's just the smell. There's a smell of like human waste in the air. There's a smell of like cooking meats.
Yeah, fun Saturday night, meat and shit.
There's like a note under it of like
Hello,
vile
Buenos Aires.
drunks kind of staggering around, and people yelling, people hawking their wares and stuff. And as you make your way through to the depot, the train pulls in through its own entrance. There's like a very large gate, and you can see that it can even be closed. Iron sort of like caged doors that can be closed. And as you make your way through the crowd, Slick Pete, give me a focus roll as you're kind of going through this crowd.
Got a 5.
A 5. Great. So amidst, this is a popular spot for traders, just commerce in general. I mean, this is where the train stops. People get off the train. People want first dibs on this fresh meat. And you see a fellow hawk, a woman named Batson, kind of just standing. She's a pretty experienced hawk like you. She's not kind of gaudily hawking her wares or begging for business. She's sort of just standing in the crowd, kind of surveying everyone, looking for the perfect person to approach, for trading. But you know her, and she is in fact kind of as a hawk, you have a network of other hawks who kind of form an information network for you. So you can cover wide distances in this world, both in information and communicating with people. And Batson is like a friendly person in this network of yours.
All right, I would like to approach her and ask her how's tricks, Batson.
Yeah, she takes you in, and like a real sly grin plays over her face. She's like, "Slick Pete, no one's burned your nose off yet."
Oh, they've tried. How are things going here?
Oh, it's going all right. Not much to trade these days. How about you? I haven't seen you in these parts in many moons.
Oh, I stay on my toes. I'm all right. I am looking for a friend of a friend here. It's on the chain.
That's a lot of folks on the chain here these days.
You know any way to find a man in particular on the chain?
I might. Who's that particular man?
What's his name again?
Grady.
His name's Grady.
Grady.
And he looks like Wazat, apparently. Wazat has kind of stringy, long black hair that kind of like...
Grady, stringy long hair. It looks like the type of man who might also look like a man named Wazat.
Wazat was with your group. It's up to you all if you wanted to follow Slick Pete over here, but he is in this area if you wanted to point at him.
That man over there. The one
I think
sniffing all the candles? Him.
I may be standing with him and giving a little surreptitious like... guy next to me.
Nice. She looks at. She's like, I know the man you're speaking of. That man was running Firewater right here in Parsons.
That sounds like the man indeed. Do you know where he is now?
She kind of nods. She's like, I do. Can we make a trade for this?
Nope.
Information?
I just wanted to know if you knew. Thank you, Batson. And then I start to walk away, and then I turn around and go, "I'm just kidding." Okay. What do you need from us?
She's like, "Oh, I mean, this is some top shelf information. Do you have any information I could use? I feel like once I give you this information, it's not going to be good information for me anymore."
My dear friend, what do you need? You know me. I'll find what you need.
She's like, information for information?
Sure.
So what do you know?
Well, basic science. I know the train's not going to be coming through for quite a while.
She's like, "Oh, there's something wrong with the train?"
There seemed to be an accident farther back on the road when we was on our way.
Give me a deception. Give me a deception roll for your little fudgery here.
Ooh.
And I think you are keen in that, right?
Doesn't matter. I got a 6.
need.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So that's a 7, correct?
Yes.
And I think you have a +1 in that.
Yes.
So that's an 8. That's about as good
Okay.
as it gets. So you say that so smoothly and effortlessly. Batson doesn't even wrinkle an eyebrow over it. But she is interested in that information. She's like, "That is good to know. I could use that information." All right. The fella you're looking for is at Complex 14.
And that is...
What'd you say?
And that is...
That's in the refinery complex.
The refinery. Thank you
14.
very much.
There's 6. I think they got 6 boys there, and he's one of them.
Good looking out, Batson.
She just gives you a little nod.
And I want to return back to my gang and tell them what I have just learned.
Well, all right.
All right. And I think
Perfect.
we will call it there not the most
Perhaps we
cliffhanger
should arrange a
of
little
part
visit.
one.
A little
Oh, wait.
visit.
And then I turn around and I stab Batson.
Wait.
No, I'm kidding. I don't.
But this is a
Oh, dear.
two-parter, so we don't have to sprint. So yeah, you have
Far
this
out.
information.
Camera
Damage
cuts.
the tracks. Randy
Camera
Critter
cuts.
is having the most awkward night.
I wanted to see the camera cut back to that. Just cut back to O'Neill just furiously smoking. Randy just making sustained facial contact and swinging his legs.
feeding little snacks to his raccoon.
By now, he's managed to start petting the coyote.
Yeah, and the coyote's just like, this is like the graduate school level training endurance for Hippocrates, as he's been thrown into this
The
pretty tough
ultimate
situation.
test.
Yeah,
And if you
it's
could
like
look
tiny,
into-
we'll say that as you're petting Hippocrates, this like tiny wrinkled little claw emerges from under your denim cloak.
Stop
It's
it.
like
Pulling its ear. Yeah. And inside Ephraim Estes' pocket, something he was working on the road, there's like a
he
little
just grabs it like
a little anatomical drawing of a man like with a little raccoon spine and digestive tract at the hip, just like, how does it all work?
Have you found the butthole?
I have theories, Pete, but
It's got to be there. I'm no fool.
it exists along some sort
the
of
digestive
butthole
tracts fuse somewhere in the lower
exactly,
intestine.
a butthole singularity, the butthole continuum.
You're all
That means
wrong.
he's
It's
more
a cloaca.
butthole than man.
What would seem?
I'm just the boy.
More
Must be
cloaca than critter.
so gross. Well, thank you all. Thank you all, players. Thank you all for watching. Thank you so much, Harlan, for secret GMing, running everything. We'll be back with part 2 in a week. Next Thursday, same time. Will be part 2. See how this heist goes off with this motley crew. In the meantime, if any of you have anything you want to plug, I know you can find myself, Jordan, and Aaron on our usual Monday night game right here on this channel, Better Than Heroes, but we won't be here next Monday. We're taking a week off. But normally, we're here every Monday playing some Spelljammer, D&D, whizzing around in space. How about you, Ross and Eliza?
I'm a part of the Stream of Blood, as are all these folks have done it. And we have a game every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific. Vampire, the Masquerade, the
Brunch vampire
the
show?
movie and Gothic
So-
Vampire Church,
it is
Brunch Vampires,
so
Brunch
good.
of Blood.
So much better than church.
It's
if
so
you're
good.
going to church, skip that and go to this.
Stream
It's
of Blood.
truly fun. It's the goth intense vampire game from the 90s, played by Jared Logan and Ashley Birch and Abu Bakar Salim and myself. It's super duper fun.
So good.
It's
check it out.
legitimately one of the best streaming shows.
Truly. They just released
very
a
kind.
new Vampire Edition, didn't they?
This I think is the 7th edition, if I'm not mistaken, or 5th. But it is a relatively new one. It's not the one I remember, because the one I remember from like the 90s has like a cover that looks a lot like Ministries with Sympathy.
Sure,
like it's a
sure.
Yes.
marble. And but yeah, the lore is deep, but our characters are
deep.
just like
Hell
pushing
yeah.
at its edges.
So
It's
good.
real fun.
As Harlan just pointed out, we will be on Stream of Blood this Saturday. We're playing Blades in the
that's
Dark, which is an
right.
amazing game.
You can
We're
come
part of a
see
group
the
called
Kinahora.
Kinahora. So we'll be back to get into more
Well, not me.
mayhem and mischief. Eliza's doing nothing. Good night.
Nothing going on Stream of Blood. My character Franny Chump has had very little request from the old Neptune Society.
That's not true. People love Franny Chump.
No,
It's one
well,
of the
There's a
more
ton of
popular
chump heads
characters.
out there that are just dying for
You
it.
know what?
Chump
Tell
heads.
her. Don't tell me. Tell her.
I'm not even saying that. I do
It's
see comments.
all
People love
over the
Franny Chump.
internet.
But I have a comedy album. I don't know. I feel like anybody watching this already knows me. I have a comedy album regarding my lovers that you can download or order. I also have a show on July 16th,
yeah.
my own late night show that Ross is writing for. So it's got a lot of fun,
Small
weird
world.
Ross stuff in it also. And the man himself appearing in it. And Andrew and I have a podcast called Death Spiral that if he would just fucking put out, you guys could listen to.
Like put
We're
out the
working on
podcast.
the theme song. It's a podcast about board games, but we're working on the
I sent you the theme song.
I'm intrigued. I want to listen to this podcast.
it's just me Raining and Eliza being funny about board games. But back to the rules. It's actually a pretty dense game.
Whatever. It's a slutty game. It's whatever game you would fuck in an airport bathroom.
All right, get us out of here, Harlan. Thank you all. Thank you all for watching. Oh, and I guess I should plug my site and my mailing list. If you want to know more about Duster or even play Tester yourself, go to my website, occupiedhex.com. You can get on the mailing list. You can win free dice. I hardly ever send emails. It's very unintrusive. But we'll see you next week.
And remember, bath boys never fall in love.
That's right. Cryptic reference to another game.